And I think we are live. Can you guys tell me if you can hear me? Sometimes the internet plays tricks on me. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So welcome my friends. This is edition 2 of the craziness of the Songwriter Shop Talk. For some reason I struggle saying that, but this is the second episode. And today I think it's going to be extra special because I took it upon myself to bring somewhat of a crazy person that I absolutely love onto the show. Somebody who I think you guys are going to be very entertained by. And last minute, Crystal decided to join me. So it's not only going to be hilarious because of the guest I brought, but it's going to be even better because I brought somebody that when laughs, it is, I don't know, one of the most contagious laughters I know. So I'm going to bring them both in here, and I'm going to let Basil introduce himself. If you guys don't know who Basil Marples is, I'm going to talk a little bit about him before I let him talk. He is an actor. He is a songwriter. Well, recently a songwriter, I guess, because he didn't believe himself to be one. But he's actually pretty amazing, if I may say so myself. And he's also an artist. And he doesn't know this, but I've gotten a hold of some of his art, and I'm going to show it too. He didn't request me to do it. He probably doesn't want me to do it, but I don't care. And of course, you guys know Crystal.
Hello,
Our beloved
everyone.
Crystal. Yes. She decided to join me today. She was also involved in the Songwriter Challenge with me. She was one of the judges. She was like our amazing curator, one of the best write-ups ever. Would come from Crystal at least five or six times. I read what I thought was going to be the best write-up ever, the best review of a song, and then the next week she would do herself. So it's only appropriate that
Aw,
she's here.
thanks, mate.
And
No, but
explode in our hearts.
no, but it's true. It's only fitting that she's here because she enjoyed Basil's entries just as much as I did. So this is gonna be awesome. So Basil,
Absolutely, Basil is a talent. You guys are in for a treat.
oh,
Well, we'll find out whether I'm a talented radio speaker, because at the moment my heart's beating like a jackhammer. I'm desperately trying to drink this beer to calm me down.
That's the best way. Liquid courage, mate. Go hard.
Yeah.
exactly. I got something else to tell you guys before we start talking about this. Rondon changed something about the radio, and we're doing a little, I would say, trick to make sure that people don't miss out the show. And it's very simple. If you guys want to be notified of when a show is happening, any of the mods, Ron, or even myself, can add a role onto your profile, which means that when a show is happening, it's gonna ping you. It's gonna let you know, hey, so and so, the show is starting. So that way you don't have to, rely on your memory. So if you guys want to know get notified when this show is happening or any other show, just like Soundwave said, know your role. Have them add you to whatever show you want, whether it is, the Songwriter Shop Talk or Full Force Thursday, whatever you want, and he can do that for you, or actually any of the mods. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's talk about what we came to do here today. We came to talk about songwriting experience, we came to talk about what songwriting means, and we came to talk about Basil. So, to start out, Basil, tell me, how did you find Steam? Well, tell me about yourself. How did you get into music? How did you get into acting? Start from zero. When you were 4 years old, what happened?
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, I'm going to start by, first of all, just debunking the myth that has been going around.
Okay.
There seems to be some kind of myth that I think I'm not a songwriter, which is not entirely true. It's both you and Lucy have said it to me, but actually I think, well, I don't know what I said. I don't know what I said, but I may have said that I didn't think I was a musician, and that is a subtly different thing, because I think I've always actually known. Well, I've always written songs. 4 years old, I was running my own radio station from my front room with my friends on a little Tomy microphone,
Okay.
That's brilliant.
I mean, it wasn't being broadcast or anything, but we called it Radio Poo.
Okay. Radio
That's
poo.
what 4-year-olds do. That's where I was.
Of course, it makes
Yeah,
sense.
it makes
Absolute
That's where I had my
sense.
big bike.
Okay, so Radio Poo, that was the beginning, and then what happened with Radio Poo? Did it ever take off? Did you guys go famous? Did you move to
Wow,
LA?
it felt like it. It felt like we really rocketed. Yeah, I think I had one song, the Potato Rock, and it was just me hitting the piano and shouting "Potato Rock."
And do we have a
Oh,
do we have a recording of this?
No, man, that was on cassette, and I have no idea where that went. Like,
Also, there was a recording of the Potato Rock.
yeah. Oh man, we were recording big time. Yeah, we were putting that cassette out one cassette at a time to my living room, and that was it. It didn't go any further than that.
oh, that's amazing to hear.
That's amazing, bro. You know, my mom said to me, and I agree with her, that it,
Says they have the Potato Rock cassette.
yeah, the potato. I want that. I want that. Honestly, if your mom has it, I'll pay a bunch of Steam for it. I don't care.
Collector's item, mate.
Yeah, I want the Potato Rock cassette. Who doesn't want that?
For it.
I'm serious. I'll pay good Steam for that.
Dude, if
Yeah.
it's there, I will outbid you.
Seriously. You know, my mom was telling me, I gotta share something with you guys. My mom was telling me that I remember some stuff, not everything she says, right? But my mom was telling me that when Petite Mena, my little brother, was little, he would do all these crazy things too. He would make up songs. He used to be like a super fan of Guns N' Roses, and he didn't speak English, right? So he would just make this weird sounds that sounded like English. And my mom says that, you know, if she could only find the tape, and I agree, if that does exist, where Petite is doing an Axl Rose impression, and he's like 2 years old, doing the whole sideways dance and all that stuff, we could have
man.
a YouTube one viral video.
That is gold.
That would be gold,
I would
right?
also pay to see that one.
Can
Oh
we just
my-
put this out to all of the listeners right now? Parents, for God's sake, hold on to those cassettes, because I don't know.
Hodl those cassettes. They could be worth millions.
Shooting up right now.
Yeah, who would have
And
guessed there
we-
was going to be something like YouTube, right? Like back then. So it's like, yeah, there's a funny thing. We laugh about it. Every chance we get, we embarrass one of our kids, but we don't take too much care of the cassette. But now, that's money, man.
Yeah,
Right.
dude. If that was my kids, that cassette would be going in a sacred time capsule and being buried underground. With treasure map.
Speaking of, now that we're talking about kids, and I don't say this like an insult, you're very much like a grown child. And that's why I love your music, because they're like funny.
Yeah, well, you're like a chicken nugget as far as I can see.
Exactly. You know, but your humor is light, you know. It's I enjoy it so much, man. I enjoy not only the music, which is great, but I enjoy the way your brain works. Like, the stuff you come up with, like that video of what is it called, the Shipscoff? The Shitscoff, yeah, the Shitscoff potatoes. Have you seen that, by the way, Crystal, or no?
Shit.
I have indeed.
Oh, good work, Crystal.
Oh, listen, I'm gonna ask
I may
somebody.
have
Maybe
done a little bit
Anka,
of
maybe Anka
YouTube
can help me.
stalking of Basil.
Yeah, maybe Anka can help
It
me on
was
this
time
one.
well spent for sure.
Oh my God.
really?
I've
There's some rough diamonds in there.
I've been doing my best impression of a British accent, which I'm terrible at, because of that video. I was like, ha, for ha, for ha. I've been doing that like for weeks. And my terrible impression of British accent, because I find that video to be hilarious.
It's not a British accent, that's a German accent, dude.
See, that goes to show how much I suck at this. But it's great. But listen, if Anka can help me out and share that video in the chat room, maybe guys don't watch it now because of course we're having a conversation. But you guys need to watch this video. It's great.
Definitely.
It-
Oh, you should get the other one, the one I told you I watched, Basil. I commented on. I can't remember the name of it. It was fucking hilarious.
Was that the
The one with the
was that
little
with, like
frozen lake.
yeah, where I'm like out in a field and it's frozen.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
how did you come
that-
up with this
that-
stuff, man? Like, tell me, what is your process for being so out of left field? It's just, it almost feels like, I know you're not, right? But it almost feels like you're under the influence of something because they're so far out there. You know? How
Well,
do you-
in all honesty, I perhaps did abuse some substances at some point early on in my career. Sometime after Radio Poo and just before Steemit. And yeah, I may have suffered the consequences of that somewhat.
And that reflects on your songs too, man. That's it, man. The video is amazing. Why is that not viral? I don't get it. Why is that not viral?
I don't know. Maybe I don't have the social media skills or something.
I think it's only just that people haven't seen it. Once people see it, they fucking love it. It's like everything you do. It's just freaking gold.
Yeah, but I'm hidden. I'm hidden in the Norfolk countryside somewhere, and no one.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about that. How did you find Steam?
Louder.
How did you find Steam? And like I know you're primarily acting now. That's like your gig, right? You're not playing music out. Or correct me if I'm wrong.
No. Yeah, no, I'm training to be a storyteller at the moment, really. So I'm just like learning a ton of stories at the moment. I do act a little bit, but it's not my primary career. I mean, it's impossible to be an actor as a primary career unless you are really good with social media, or your video goes viral, or somebody thinks you're amazing and hires you for lots of money. But no, I'm basically. Just a self-employed freaking bum, basically. I just drift around. Having
best time to be.
And implementing them.
A self-employed bum. I like that. That's a great. Do you have business cards with that on them?
I can't afford business cards, for crying out loud.
No, man, you're doing really good on Steam. Come on. Like,
no. Steam is a revelation. Absolutely. Oh my god, Steemit is blowing me away. And that's what your question was. You asked me how I got to it. Well,
yeah, tell me a story.
Somebody. Basically, I've always been involved in like these like community camping events, kind of alternative hippie communities, basically. And I have a friend there who was obviously really into it and was just like, oh my god, Basil's gonna love this and it's gonna be so up his street. And it was. And then so she just came and told me about it, and I was just like, okay, and went on it.
And then you're like cryptocurrency, blockchain, I don't understand, but yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I didn't understand anything, and within 6 weeks, I had been given a ticket to go to freaking Steamfest. So I was just like, "Way, let's go, let's go!"
Man, I remember that video. I honestly, I spat on my. I think I told you that I spat on my monitor, right? Because I see this video of like I want to go to the Steamfest, and it's an old post now. I wish there was a better way to search for videos on or post on Steam, because there isn't. And that one is cool. Like, you're running around a field like a madman with the phone, screaming, I want to go, I want to go. And it was so funny. It was so great that we actually had...
I miss this.
You haven't seen that video?
No, I'm spewing.
Oh my god! I like I said, I spat on my screen. It's like 9 a.m. in the morning. I make my coffee. I always, that's the first thing, of course. I even do that before I wash my face. And I'm clicking. I'm like, oh, what is this? And I just click on it. I'm taking a sip. 10 seconds into it, all over the screen. I'm like, oh my god! I was laughing like a man. It's hilarious. And what's more amazing about that video, right, is that he's admitting that he doesn't know what the hell anything is all about, right? But it is so funny, so great, and it became like mini viral because, of course, at that time we were probably half the size of what we are right now. That it was one of the witnesses. I don't remember who it was. It could have been Roland P. Actually, send you the money, right?
Oh my god, yeah, just sent me a chunk.
Send you the money to go to the Steamfest. I was like, yeah, this guy's great. Here, I don't know who he is.
I was blown away because what I was saying was when I make 15 cents off this video, I'm going to donate it to someone else who's mad enough to be going to Steamfest on a budget. I did not think I was going to be going to Steamfest. And in fact, I almost had a cardiac arrest. I was so stressed out because I was doing like a Halloween show and I was acting in that. And literally I had to like leave off straight after the final show and get a bus to London and get a plane. So it was crazy.
Yeah, and then not only that, you had Beans, which is obviously a very nice lady too for doing this.
Oh, Beans is my hero.
She gave you her ticket. So all of a sudden, there you are. Like you call yourself this. This is not what I think. You call yourself the incompetent fool, slightly incompetent fool, at
Just
Steamfest. Just slightly. That's what you said.
You can't use freaking Discord.
To quote Basil, he's like, "You would send a slightly incompetent fool to Steamfest." Those were his words. And,
They did, Mino. They did. They sent me all the way.
and not only, and I told Basil when I saw it, I was like, honestly, it was inspiring to see that people came together to help him out, and Beans did that, and Roland P, and all of a sudden he's going. That I actually, I tell Basil, listen, do the documentary, because he was talking about making a documentary. You gotta watch this video. I hope somebody finds it, because it's buried right now in mountains of posts, and slaps it on there. It's just great, and what happened was he does that. He gets a ticket. He's gonna go. So I go up to his post and I'm like, "Hey, Basil, you say you're gonna make a documentary. You gotta make a documentary." And I think he thought I was joking, but I even offered to pay. I'm like, "I'm serious. Like, if you do the documentary, I'll send you some SBD because I wanted to see Steamfest through the eyes of a madman. It would be awesome." And guess what?
You are a legend, Mino. It happened. You did it.
And it happened. He actually recorded it, and I love those videos. They're hilarious. There's a series, and that's why I encourage anybody to follow Basil. There's a series that he recorded of the whole event, of when he went there, getting off the bus, getting people to beg him for money on the streets. He doesn't know where anything is. And then listening to SMTs.
A massive shout out to Anchor for giving me 0.01 SBD so I would not sleep on the street. And man, that went a long way.
It was amazing. And then not only that, oh look, Chris Roberts is here. Awesome, Chris. Awesome, you made it, man. Chris Roberts is also going to be on this show for sure. Maybe next week. We gotta talk. And make it happen.
Yes, bring on Chris.
Chris is awesome. But anyways, you recorded that thing. I don't know if you're done uploading all the episodes. Are you done?
No. Oh God, it's gonna go on forever. No, I'm on like episode 9, but I'm so lazy and inconsistent and confused and procrastinating and useless that I've only got up to episode 9. In fact, I just put it on today.
I ended up binge watching all the ones that you had up already when I found your YouTube channel.
It couldn't have
Very
been
entertaining.
binge watch. It must have lasted about 20 minutes.
No, man, they're amazing. I love it. The one that had me cracking up is actually you posted it today, where they're talking about the technical stuff of SMTs and also that, and you're sitting there like a good little student with this face of I don't know what the hell is going on. It's great. I don't know if did you write this like a script? Here's what I'm gonna do, or it's just improv. It's like, oh.
No, I was just sitting there thinking I don't know what's going on. I didn't know who anybody is. I didn't know who Ned was. I was just like, there's this guy on stage and he's talking and it's cool, but I don't know what's going on. I don't know what SMTs are. I don't even know what Steam is. Like a total lemon.
I don't know what Steam is, but yes, let's do it.
If I'm pretty bored, I'm going to film my face for a while.
That's kind of how the video. That's why it's great. That's why it's genius. And listen,
Yeah.
speaking of songwriting, what if we play a song? Let's start this out with a song, and not wait too long. We're talking a lot, and we're gonna talk a lot more because you really have not told me everything. You have to tell me more. And I want to start with my favorite of the competition. This is my personal favorite, and it's my personal favorite just because it is the catchiest of all.
Okay.
Okay, but before I play it, 1 second. What were you thinking when you wrote this particular song? You dirty soul sucking thieves. What
You're going for comedy first. This is the comedy one. This is the comedy number.
Yeah, we're gonna do comedy because that's where we are right now.
It's brilliant.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant, and not only that, it is super catchy. I was singing that song for days, and I was actually today I was preparing for the show, so I downloaded the songs because I don't want D-Sound or DTube to fail me in the middle of the show. So I downloaded them and I'm listening to it again, and then I'm all over. I got the song stuck in my head all over.
Oh, dude. Well, I've just got this image of you singing it to your quails, and that just that floats me through the day. In fact, it floats me through the week.
It is great. It is great. It's one of the best songs. But
Okay,
what were you thinking about this? Was it just like, okay,
well, I can tell you exactly what happened. I was in the workshop, which is I don't know if you saw the post beat steam band that me, Ewan Duffus, and Sazler made recently.
yeah,
Did
it's
that
great.
some song. Okay, so I was in that room and I was with Ewan and Sazler, and the theme for the week came through, and I was like, "Hey guys, you're here with me. Why don't you help me?" And they sort of vaguely sort of shot some ideas. This was before Sazler was involved, and Ewan, I don't know what he was doing, but I was kind of hitting against a brick wall a little bit with it. So I was just like, okay, well, look, I mean, okay, let's come up with an idea. Okay, but it's like, all right, so we were talking a little while about the theme "Stolen Souls," which is a bloody awkward theme, to be honest. I think quite a lot of people.
Sorry about that one. I think that was me.
Was it you, Crystal? Was it you? You're owning up to that?
I think so.
Oh, man.
Now you know who to be angry at. No, you should be.
High pedestal.
You should be grateful. You wrote such a great tune. You should be grateful she gave you something. So
I am grateful. I am. No, and it's one of my favorites as well. But we were talking about how, well, it's quite a complicated theme because to steal a soul, it's a complex concept, isn't it? Like just thinking about it, it's like to actually write about that felt quite difficult. So I was just like, okay, well, the only way I can get my head around this without going into some like super deep quasi-religious realm of nightmares, I am going to just take it as if my soul was an item that I could lose, like my wallet, and I just went from there, really.
It worked brilliantly, man.
It worked
I
brilliantly.
absolutely love this one.
All right, well then let's give it a go, as you say, because I want people to know what we are talking about. So this is like I told you guys, I'm gonna move you into the live room so you can listen, and then I'll bring you right back. So this song is called "You Dirty Soul Sucking Thieves," and this was done in the competition of Songwriters Challenge Week 2, I believe, right?
Yes, maybe. I don't know. Who knows?
2 or 3. I can't remember. They blur.
Yeah, I think you're gonna say it anyways on the actual audio. So let's give this a go.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sweet. All right then, Steamies. Okay, it's songwriting week, open mic songwriters week 60. No, scratch that. It's the open mic songwriters week 3, Stolen Souls. And it is also the open mic normal competition week 62. Songwriters week 3, open mic week 2. Peace out. This song is based on the theme, what is it now? Let me think. Just give me one moment. It's Stolen Souls. I've already said it. Stolen Souls. And this song is called You Dirty Soul-Sucking Thieves. Let's give it a little go. I couldn't find the pedal. To whoever stole my soul, I'll say, return it right away. I had it in the bar last night, but it was gone today. It's of no financial worth, but see, I've had it since my birth. And it gives that special something to my meaning on this earth. I really need my soul back, please. You dirty soul-sucking thieves. I woke up this morning, yeah, I knew something was wrong. I heard my national anthem, but I could not sing along. I saw the flag a-flying, but my heart felt oh so cold. Some dirty little rascal must have run off with my soul. I really need my soul back, please. You dirty soul-sucking thieves. You dirty soul-sucking thieves. vehicle just ran out of tax, but I seem to feel no fear. Well, I'm lying in the bathtub with the shower running cold. Oh, I couldn't feel anything without my blooming soul. I really need my soul back, please. You dirty soul sucking thieves, yeah. You dirty soul sucking thieves. To whoever stole my soul, I say, return it right away. I had it in the bar last night, but it was gone today. It's of no material worth, but see, I've had it since my birth, and it gives that special something to my meaning on this earth. I really need my soul back, please. You dirty soul sucking thieves. You dirty soul sucking thieves. You dirty soul sucking Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a joy to play this song for you today. Just mega love to you all.
I just think that's brilliant. That's all I gotta say. It takes. I know when a song is good because it takes one hear, like one listen, and it's stuck in your head. And that's what this song did for me. Like, I heard it once, and I actually went. I went up to my girl and she said, "Come here. You gotta listen to this." I couldn't even experience it all by myself. I'm like, I can't experience it. Come here, come listen to this. And we were both laughing and both singing. It's like, man, this is such a good song. Like aside from the fact that it's hilarious, because it's hilarious.
Let's get all the quails in.
Yeah, let's get all the quails. Let's have a family reunion.
Oh man!
Oh man, I love that
I
song.
do the same thing with Osbit as well. I drag him over and I'm like, you gotta see this.
Oh, you guys!
It's awesome.
It's awesome, bro.
This is another very special experience in my journey on this crazy platform. Like, I mean, I've had a few. I could list them, but like, I don't know. Just hearing that song played, such a strange recording, and you know, it's out there on the radio or whatever, and I can see people saying things about it, and it's just like, man.
Yeah, well, and you know, there's not only the people in here, but it's also playing on the website. It's playing on Twitch, and yeah. So, and then this goes also onto the blockchain. So this stays. That's it. Everything you say can and will be used against you, bro.
Oh man, this whole open mic experience just continues to overwhelm me.
Which reminds me, please, can somebody do me this favor? Maybe Anke can do this for me. There's a comment you made about how happy you were with all the things that were happening. That was just amazing. It's the whole unicorn with syrup and
I
all.
was gonna ask the unicorn one. I think
Oh
that
my
might have
God.
been on.
I couldn't even memorize that.
How much I love her.
Yeah, I could not. I can't memorize that. I wish I could memorize because I would like to be able to say that to somebody one day and just completely mess with their head for 3 days because I memorized that whole thing. It was that amazing.
Well, I can quite comfortably say right here to everybody listening that Crystal, you were just an absolutely massive part of this whole open mic ride for me, and just really. I don't know. Your reviews were so special to me, and just the way you related to not my music and only, but everybody's music. But for me personally, just blew me away. And there's been such a massive aspect in how I feel like my confidence has been growing over this last few weeks. And yeah, I just like to thank you right here on air because there's no words really, other than the whole unicorn thing.
Other than the most amazing compliment ever.
Yeah, like seriously, you blew me away with that response. You're always so gracious and humble, man. Like I call it as I see it. That's I try to explain it to people to encourage them to listen because it's fucking worth listening to, people. And now you can hear it and see why.
There it is. There it is. You know what? I'm not even. Should I read this? This is amazing. You know what? No, Basil. Can you read it because you said it? Can you read this comment?
Oh, I can read it, but only if I'm being stupid. Okay, here we go.
All right. This is okay, but let's give it context. So this was Basil's response to so Crystal. Here's what Crystal did, and completely out of nobody told her to do it. She's just crazy like that and crazy amazing. All the money that she had been accumulating, all the liquid SBD from all her posts about the competition, she saved up, and it went to be over $3,000 at the end. And then the whole amount, she gave it to the people that were part of the competition, the people that placed, right? So this is already, the competition's over. The guitar left here, it went to the new owner. Everybody's happy, everybody's excited, and then she does this. So that's the context. So then Basil,
Pachiche put some lovely comment on, and I'd just been filling Crystal's life with praise about how amazing she is for so long that I just had to second it. But then all of this other stuff came out,
Yeah.
I can't control myself sometimes.
Yeah, because Pachiche said, "Oh my God, Crystal, this is amazing." Pachiche was super excited. He sent me a message saying, "I can't believe what Crystal did." Because let's also say, he lives in South America, so 22 SBD for him is a lot more than it is for like somebody here, for like a lot more. That can pay for food for the month. Just to put in context, so he was like super excited. He was like,
"That's incredible!" Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
So
That's
then
awesome.
so then Basil responded. So go ahead, Basil, read this because it has to be with a British accent. Go for it.
Okay. This comment says it all. Thank you, Pachiche. I am going to second it. I have been throwing so much love at Crystal. I feel in danger of sounding like a stuck record, and now she goes and does this? How much more joy must she bring us? I have already had the icing on the cherry on the cake, so what the heck is this reward? Rainbows on the icing? Sugar frosted unicorn kisses, little twisty candy macaroni pieces glued with toffee and filled with chocolate maple syrup that was poured by dancing angels and continues to be poured liberally over your face while you celebrate the sheer beauty of the cake you are just about to eat. How am I going to survive all of this happiness, Crystal? And apparently there's something else coming. Swoon. That's me painting on the floor. I think entering this challenge goes down as one of the best decisions I have ever made in my life. I love you all. And I do.
Man, you read that my sides, man.
Oh my god, I didn't think the comment could get better, but you're so right. Your reading it was fucking amazing. Oh, my face hurts. I can't stop smiling.
That is the best compliment ever. Honestly.
Hell yeah, it is.
Yeah, but I can't stress how much, and it's not just you, Crystal. You're just kind of the focal point of this whole thing because of how incredible your writing and your reviewing has been. But this whole competition, the Songwriters challenge in particular, and Mino, so much love to you for this as well because it's just so much.
Steal the light for a second to say, Menno, seriously, you were so new when you came up to us and you're like, let's do a Songwriters thing. You steamrolled this into action and you sponsored the event right off the bat, even though you were new. And massive fucking props, man. You made an awesome, awesome challenge and I loved being a part of it. So thank you for creating it and asking me to be a part. I loved it.
Totally.
Well, thank you for participating. I honestly, to me, it was just, I was excited. I still have a bunch of ideas in my head, and I thought, and I think I nailed it, that I identified the right people. I was like, yeah, this is a good human being. This is somebody that I can share my vision with, and it's gonna help me learn what I need to learn to make it happen. It's gonna, be the right person for the job. So, I it was, of course, I'm not saying that I was able to calculate everything. By all means, I make a lot of mistakes, still do. But when I started to interact with Crystal, I knew that I wanted her to be part because of the kind person that she is. And not only that, Crystal, many people that are coming onto the platform don't know, but Crystal is actually an excellent writer. Like I tell her that's her calling, and also somebody that sings amazingly. And she used to compete in the open mic, and that's how she got involved
I
in the
would
open
second
mic.
that. I've just been listening to Crystal's
Yeah,
singing from
and
how many months ago.
she has
Lovely.
she has an amazing voice, and she'll give me this excuse, is, oh, my voice is not where it needs to be, and all that. I respect her choice, her thing. I'm not gonna keep on messing with her, but she's an amazing singer, and she's also a very empathic person. So when I started talking to her, I was like, okay, this is gonna be my friend. Like, and I was just telling Melody, because I was chatting with her in a second, that I feel, and I know Bossel probably feels the same way. I feel like I have friends online right now, friends on
Oh my
Steam,
god.
that
Yeah.
are just as valuable as people that I've known my whole life. And like, I've never shared a drink with Crystal or like a beer with you, Bossel, and all that stuff. But if you were to come to my house right now, you would sleep in my couch. You would eat my food. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like even though we've never met, I feel that close to you. Same with Crystal. Same with
I'm outside
Oscar.
your door right now, dude. I've been knocking for hours.
Oh,
Fucking let me
I
in
thought it was
already.
my cat, man. I'm sorry. I think that's magical. I think what has happened here, the community that we've been able to find and build on, has that magic, and that makes it so valuable. Like, yeah, Steam is great. Also, that, oh, the price is going up. Oh, that's great. But what is really magical is very much parallel to that reality. It's like right now when the things were going down in the crypto market, and everybody's like, oh my god, I should panic sell. And all. I have to admit that even though looking at BTC gave me a little bit of, like, oh my god, this is putting me down, the fact that I have this community, the fact that I have the songwriters, the fact that I have, my little family and MSP and, my friends, made me feel like, that Steam could go back to 88 cents. That's fine, because we're not going to go anywhere. We're gonna be
Exactly.
here. We're gonna still be making music. We're gonna still have fun.
That's really special, and I would like to second that, and especially given some of the, because there's been some kind of, I don't know, some shockwaves going through the community recently, as far as I can see, and I just think exactly that. It's nothing to do with the value of the coin; it's to do with the community it's brought together.
And yep, I'm going to jump on that bandwagon 100%, guys. I like being an autism mum, I don't get to go out and socialize in the real world very often. So this has become a huge part of my life. And I never dreamed I'd be involved with this sort of stuff. I thought I would be just a stay at home mum for the rest of my days. But now I'm an open mic judge. I'm getting to hear all this amazing, brand new, never before heard miracle music. And it's just been a life-changing event. It really is. And I have made so many friends way closer with you guys than I have been with people in the real world. So it's great.
That's magical.
Yeah,
I don't
weird,
know.
isn't it?
What is that? That's crazy. Like, I honestly think there might be some people looking for. Not that I care, by the way. Like, screw them. Who cares? But some people that don't know about this, that haven't participated, if you were to say, hey, you know what? Some of my best friends, I've never seen their faces. They'll be like, what are you talking about? So your best friend is like a little avatar? Yeah.
He's a chicken nugget.
He's a chicken nugget, and he's great. You know? It's funny, but it's true. It's funny because it's true.
Yeah.
Hey, listen,
Wow.
I did something, boss. I don't know if you noticed, but I actually shared one of your little drawings. Did you see that?
Yeah, I noticed that. Where'd you find that?
Okay, because, man, I want to, like I told you, the purpose of this show, the purpose of today, of this conversation, is because I want people to get to know you. What is this drawing? Explain it to me.
It was. That's a little toy cat having a picnic with a little toy bear.
I can see that. I can see that. Well,
They
listen.
are my personal files.
Is that a toucan up in the tree too?
Is it a what?
Is that a toucan bird up in the tree as well?
I can't see that far across. It's cropped. Like, I'll click it. Oh yeah, look at him. There's a little toucan up there.
So, see, this is what I'm saying. That there's your brain is very different, and I love it. By the way, I'm not criticizing you. It's like this takes. Let me describe it in the best way I can with my limited knowledge of the language.
Yes.
When you do music, right? When you improvise, like there are musicians that get so high up there that nothing that they do is planned. It's kind of like they're just talking with the instrument, right? And I think that that's some sort of like creative nirvana that you can reach. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm sounding too poetic right now, but it's almost like you allow yourself to explore something that even though has no logic behind it, it does, right? I don't know what that is. It's like every time you're gonna do art and this is not just for music, by the way. It can be, of course. I'm talking about visual art right now. Every time you're gonna do something, there's always that Mr. Judge that lives inside of you that goes like, yeah, but yeah, I can do this, but that makes no sense. So then you put on the brakes. You put in the e-brake. No.
Yeah.
You allow yourself to not put on the e-brake, and that's why I think I love your stuff so much, because I can tell that when you were doing that stuff, you were just exploring. Like, at least that's how I feel. Because what does this say? A little. I mean, you can interpret it any way you want, and I love that. I think that's something very special that you have, brother, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Aside from the fact that that's hilarious, because it's actually really cool. And I found a few drawings of Basel that I really like. I really like this one. I'm gonna share with the rest of the crowd, and I want you to explain to me what it is, because I have no idea what it is, but I like it.
Oh, it's like a
Dude inside the suit.
Yeah, it's an office worker. He's in a monster suit. Yeah. I don't know. He's got a little pen in his pocket. I don't know. He looks a bit sad, but he's got a cool hairdo. I mean, he's let his hair go out, so. And the monster.
Yeah, he's all party.
I see. I'm trying to interpret. I was trying to interpret the drawing, right? I was looking at it earlier, and by the way, Anka was looking at it too. She really loved it, and of course I'm biased, but I think Anka's an amazing artist, and so her opinion to me holds weight. And she's looking at it and she's saying like, man, that's amazing, that's awesome. And I'm looking at it, and I know you don't consider yourself like a visual artist by all means, but this is great. There's so much I see somebody pretending to be a monster that they're not, but the monster is sensible. I can interpret so much here.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, isn't it? How I think what you were saying about reaching that place where you take off the brakes. Did you call it?
Yeah, the ego.
Yeah. Okay, the ego brakes. Okay, so when you do that with your work, things come out that you can't. You didn't logicize previous to actually manifesting them. Things come out of your subconscious, whether you're improvising lyrics or music, because I think a lot of people find it with music, just noodling on the guitar or on the piano or something. But with drawing a line is exactly the same, and things happen and things form. And I think so long as you don't try to logicize them as they're happening, they form quite clear images from your subconscious, and I don't know. I guess
you
that's
said it
what
perfect.
it is.
That's it. You said it perfectly. That's exactly what it is. And I'm looking at this one here too today, and this one's funny, but it's not. Like it's also one of those things that I'm looking at and I'm going like, there's symbolism. At least there is to me when I see this. This is like
presumably some people aren't seeing this. This is a strange thing. I mean, looking through pictures on the radio, that's an odd mix.
No, but don't worry. This is gonna go. Okay. This on Twitch is getting streamed, by the way.
Right. Oh, I see.
So when I post this on the blockchain, it's gonna have a video. They're gonna see it.
Okay.
I'll see everything.
Mm-hmm. So this here is a cat catching a mouse that is as big as a cat, but the mouse is holding a balloon that has a cheese inside of it, and then like a little steamy thing coming out of it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So is this when did you do this?
When?
Yeah, was there something going on? Like where in your steaming career did you draw this?
This was a response to Doodle Deo. Ophelia Fu does a little.
She's awesome.
Yeah,
Sorry
exactly.
about that.
She's totally awesome, and she does this cool doodling challenge. And I think she literally gave me that. This is not out of my subconscious. She gave me the three things. I think it's like you get three cues every week, and that week it must have been cat, mouse, balloon or something, or cat, mouse. Yeah, I think it was cat, mouse, balloon. So I just drew the three things.
Yeah,
It works really well.
that's an interesting challenge. See, and there I am looking at the symbolisms of this thing. It's kind of like
Yeah, sorry, that's
yeah.
kind of tricked you there.
And Anka just said that you used to have amazing hair. I'm gonna share one of the hairstyles that Basil used to have. Look at that.
Oh.
That's a stylish man, right there.
Yeah, I kind of look a little bit like that right now.
Do you for real? But you got there's a post about the fake product of the Pishkoff. I always get it wrong. It's like
Shit's not.
yeah. It's like
Yeah.
German sounding. The whole point is supposed to sound like a German brand, right? There is a German brand that sounds similar, but I don't know anything about hair products, so of course I'm gonna fail.
We
I think it was Schwarzkopf or something like that.
Nein, das war Schitzkopf.
Yeah.
Drei.
How's it go? Ha for your hair for her. How does it go?
For her. Exactly.
But there's on that post. There's like 5 or 6 different hairstyles you got going on, and they're hilarious. Look at that one. How old were you here? This is amazing, bro. I was cracking up so much. How old were you in this picture? You look way younger.
Yeah, I am younger. I must have been 21 or 2.
Did you dye your hair, or was that?
Yeah, I was walking past a hairdresser's one day, and I saw it said, "We are looking for perm models."
Okay.
And so I was like, "Damn, well, a free perm? Who could say no?"
Oh my god.
And I said, "Look, I will have your freaking weird free perm, but only if you dye it ginger for me."
Of course,
Because of course.
What's a perm without ginger hair?
It's bullshit. That's what that is. You gotta go ginger if you're gonna be a perm model. Everybody knows
Yeah. Otherwise, you're just a guy with a perm.
that. Exactly.
Oh my god.
Oh, Jay Dooman, that's awesome. By the way, I don't know if you're looking at the chat room. So Jay Dooman, which he's actually one of the minnows that I am helping with Helpy. That's something we can talk about some other day. But he says that he also used to model hair, and if you increase the size of his avatar, that's interesting, right?
Yeah.
That is interesting. For those who can't see, of course, this is going to be in the chat, and the chat doesn't show the avatars. Jay Dootman has a bald head. So it doesn't show the avatars on the chat.
Hair right there.
Yeah.
He's modeling micro hairs.
Exactly. Well, he's modeling micro hair. That's right. That's right. He just made it big. Perfect.
Oh.
He's got to tell me what happened.
Modeling moderate stubble and bushy eyebrows. Decent eyebrows.
Yeah, exactly. I like it. Well, listen, Basil. Tell me.
Yes.
So, are you the type of artist that have done like you've done a little bit of everything over the years? Is that's kind of the vibe I'm getting?
Yeah, man. I just like creating things, and I especially like creating things with other people, but that's not always possible. So I like to create by my whims, and my whim is what I feel like doing, and sometimes it's writing, and sometimes it's playing music, and sometimes it's drawing, and other times it's acting or performing or filming. I like making films too, but then sometimes creativity comes out in all sorts of different ways, doesn't it? I mean,
well, yeah, but that's what's great though. I think that's what's great about you, because I believe for a long time, and I wouldn't say maybe more so in the last few years, that we as artists put our own limitations because we think of it like this. It's kind of like, oh, I am known as a bass player and as a singer, so maybe I shouldn't act because that's going to take away from my music. As if
Yeah.
as if one thing robs you from the other one. And that's kind of silly, right? But I
Yeah.
think we all think like that. Do you ever have those concerns, or you don't care? You're like, I feel like acting now. No, I feel like singing.
No, no, I have had those concerns. I've been hugely kind of plagued by those at times. Being a creative person is really hard in a modern world where there's a lot of expectation on you to achieve something or to make something of your life. That's really hard. It puts a lot of pressure on. I'm quite a sensitive person, and to be honest, you said at the start of the show something about me being childlike. Well, I agree.
I meant that with love, by the way. But
Yeah,
continue.
no, I agree, and I love, like there's nothing. Children are fantastic. I work with children as well, and children are endlessly inspiring. And to be honest, um, I
Exactly.
think that the older I've got, the more in touch I've got with just the fact that the child in me wants to create whatever it wants to create, and it's nothing to do with success. It's nothing to do with a trajectory in life or a direction or a career, and it's certainly nothing to do with pigeonholing myself or stamping myself into a little box so that I can be brilliant at something but not do anything else, or have the whole world kind of draw my blood every step of the way because I'm talented at something. It's like, no, I'm gonna not have any of that, and that's why I'm not a successful actor, and maybe that's why I'm not a successful musician or not a successful anything else, because actually that's not where it's at. And until suddenly, oh my god, Steemit, comes out of nowhere, and it's like, whoa, this is what I was shaping up for, just to enjoy myself and share it with people.
That's so awesome to hear, man. And it's just awesome that people are able to actually do what they love. They love doing it. They start to succeed because they're happy in what they're doing, and then success will follow. Like it's almost poetic.
And I think what Jay Dootman says is probably the simplest truth. If it makes you happy, you're successful. And
Yeah,
and honestly, I can say that most of the ideas that we have of success are not mine, or that I've had of success are not mine. They were given to me when I was growing up. Like, meaning, when I was growing up, at some point in time, maybe from my dad, maybe from friends, maybe from even a teacher, they told me that being successful was having money. They told me that being successful was being an engineer of some sort, having some sort of degree. And I bought into that. For years and years, I bought into it. Because when I was growing up, I remember my father specifically saying this to me. He said, "What kind of engineering career do you want? Not if I wanted to be an engineer.
whoa,
Not, no, it's which one." So
yeah,
I've always been a nerd. I've always been into computers. I assembled my first PC when I was 13 years old. So he's like, "Oh, you obviously have to be a computer engineer." And I liked computers. I still do, obviously. But that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a musician. So
The
I,
passion wasn't there.
yeah, like it's different when you are, you know what I mean? Like you're doing computers because it's like a hobby and you like it and all that stuff. And there's a whole other story to think of it like, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sit in front of a computer and I'm gonna program all day. Not that there is anything wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But that's not what I felt my calling was. But I remember telling one of my teachers, saying to my teacher that I wanted to be a musician, and I remember that teacher laughing at me. Not
oh,
not maliciously, not like, ha ha ha, you're such an idiot, you little child, but kind of like, oh ha ha, oh okay, but no, I'm serious. What do you want to study? And
Yeah.
and I felt not safe into in a situation that I wasn't safe enough to really say what I felt. I wasn't safe enough to say, no, no, I meant it. I wanna sing.
yeah,
And which led me to not leave my home in a way, like a traditional like guy that turns 18 or whatever leaves the home. I left the country. I left South America and I came to the United States. And I came to the United States singing in a band against my family's wishes. I'm like, that's it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go for the American dream. They like my voice. I'm gonna do it. And obviously, the whole thing went to crap. 4 months later, I'm living in the streets, and that's a sad story I'll share another time. But it was almost like in that plan that they were telling me, and that idea of what success was that I was being sold. I was so against it, or I rejected it so much, even though I wanted to convince myself that that was the truth, that I had an extreme reaction that led to a terrible consequence. And
Yeah.
sometimes I think that many creative people must have a similar struggle, right? Because you're like, they tell you, hey, no, 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 success is money. And even if they don't say it with those words, it's implied.
Well, you see it. You see it all around.
Yeah, yeah. And truth be told, as you get older, you realize how money has nothing to do. And I'll say this, I know I'm gonna sound a little like naive or whatever, but money has nothing to do with happiness. Absolutely nothing. And I know that we can make jokes and say, you know what? I've never seen somebody on the wave runner crying. I know we can make that joke. But I've also met people who are very rich. And one of my really good friends, and he's my mentor, is a millionaire. And he's miserable. So it's like one thing does not imply the other. Which is also why I preach so much how important this community has become to me. Because this is my wealth. If you ask me, Menno, are you rich? Yes, but not with money. I have a great community, a great network of friends. This is my wealth. That's why when BTC was dumping, I wasn't feeling like my life is over, because that's not my life.
So beautiful, man.
And that's what. Well, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I'm not trying to be all like mushy or whatever the word is. I mean it because that's really what I hope that one day I can teach other people to think like that too. I hope that, especially if the creative minds, especially those that have been told their whole lives, hey, you know what? You need to get real. You can't do music your whole life. That's not, that's not a career. Or you can't do poetry. You can't do art. You got to get real. So that those people can grab the creative police and slap them in the face. Because that's not true. It has never been true, but it's just that people have this bias towards it because they've also been programmed into thinking of what wealth is. That wealth is money. That's not wealth. The other day, something beautiful happened, and you weren't here, Basil, because I know you just got into Discord, recently,
Not get into Discord. I'm being dragged into Discord.
Exactly, and Melody wasn't here either. But something amazing happened the other night, and I am. Stupid enough or brave enough or whatever you want to call it to admit that I was crying on the radio the other day, but it was not of sadness. It was of joy.
Wow.
Rondon, who is listening right now, it was on Sunday. So Sunday, we're on the radio. Agrod canceled the show. Right, Agrod is actually the witness that runs this place. He canceled the show, and Rondon and Global get on the radio and they do a pirate show. And the pirate show, I don't even know if it was because of what was going on, but I do know that one of the minnows that comes to the chat all the time, Occupy Wallets, says or brings to the attention the fact that this lady had just found Steemit, I think like a week ago or something. I'm not sure about this. Somebody can fact check me what I'm saying. And she was getting threatened by the Child Protective Services. They were going to take her kids away, and she was going to be homeless. And they were telling her that she had to go to a homeless shelter, right? And it was just a horrible story. Like I read that story and I cried. And then I'm in here, right, with these guys, and then Global and Rondon say, hey guys, this is what's going on, blah blah, brings it to the attention, and they start doing this whole thing. It's like, you know what? We're gonna play songs, and if you want to request a song, send some Steam, send some SBD, and we're gonna match it. We collected in that night in the radio show like $2,000
Oh
for
my
this
god!
lady,
Wow!
so
That's amazing.
Wow!
she could stay, with her kids.
That is beautiful.
I was
Oh
beautiful.
my
I was
god!
crying like an idiot. I went and tell my girls like, listen, this is happening right now. She got online, and I'm like, this is amazing. This is what I'm talking about. When I talk about wealth, that's what I'm talking about, because it wasn't some rich person that came in here and said, here you go, $2,000. It was a bunch of us, a bunch of tiny little minnows that have wallets that are not impressive at all, getting together for a noble cause. And what we did for that lady, regardless of what anybody might say from the outside, oh, you guys are idiots, you're probably giving money to a crackhead. I don't care what anybody says. What we did was amazing, and it was magical.
Yeah. And what's incredible for her is that it's a little bit like a miracle happened to her. But instead of that, it's more empowering than that, because actually she brought herself here and made a miracle happen for herself. And that's what's so empowering about this Steemit community. I mean, that's what I feel like has happened to me just creatively. I mean, how it's rejuvenated my creativity. But for someone to have that have it have that kind of impact on their life, but to have come out and told their story and invited that love to them is just, I mean, wow. Like, you can't ask for more from a social media platform. It's top notch as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, but it's the quality of the people, really, and maybe it comes also with the quality, not only the quality of the people in this particular chat, is the types of leaders that we have on Steam that are in a way or another teaching those values, or people are trying to emulate them. Because we have, like, I say to Luz, and I've told him privately, like, Luz, that in many ways I want to emulate him, because he's like he's such a good leader for the open mic community. He's like relentless, and maybe he doesn't get enough credit, because we think, or at least I used to, when I first got into the platform, 2 weeks, 3 weeks in, I was thinking, oh yeah, this dude must have all this money. That's why he gives away all this money, right? And because he was giving away, and he does, and he has been for a year. What is it, like 400 and something Steam a week, something crazy like that? So
Yeah, it's mega.
yeah, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, it's got to be a whale. But I didn't understand how whales worked. I didn't understand how much money, you get when you do posts and all this stuff. And I remember looking at a Luz's post, and I was like, oh, I guess he's getting that much. But now that I understand things a lot more, I know that for most of the year, Luz has been powering down. I don't know if you know this, so he could continue to pay out for the contest.
Wow, yeah, I didn't know
That's
that.
pretty crazy, right? He does have the support of P-Funk, right? And P-Funk,
He's a legend.
he's a legend. But there were times, and we're going through one right now, like when the market was crashing, and that the payouts are going down, and he cannot, and collecting enough steam to do all the payouts, it's not an easy task, because he has to
show out for it.
he has to shell out, and he does it. Relentless, man. That
Lucifer for president.
yeah.
What
Well,
a
I
statement.
reckon, right?
But that to me, it's a leader. No excuses. You know what I mean? Like you
Guys,
can.
I'm going to take a time out and go to the loo. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I forgive you for doing that. But Crystal,
Yeah, I'm here.
did you know what I just told you? You probably knew already, right?
Yeah, I think I saw you mention it the other day. I didn't know from memory. I knew that he'd been chucking in his own money to help with the extra payouts for the original works as well. There's an additional payout there as well. So yeah, he's stepping up as much as he can, and he works so bloody hard. It's insane. It really is. I don't know how he functions anymore. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's admirable about the guy, because he is somebody who decided to live his life the way that he wanted. He moved to Mexico, and he's doing his thing. He's always kind of joking, but at the same time, telling the truth. I was like, oh, I'm living in the paradise, living in the beach, and all this stuff. And he kind of went against the grain, in many ways. He decided, okay, I'm not gonna play the rat race. I'm not gonna, you know what I mean, follow the career like I'm supposed to. I'm gonna go be happy. And you know what makes me happy? Being part of this community, doing the open mic, listening to music. That's admirable. That's something that I think
Yeah,
all of us can learn. And that's what success means to me. The size of his wallet, who cares? And I said it to everybody.
exactly.
Who cares?
And
That's
the thing is that also every little bit adds up. Like with what you were saying before with the fundraising for that mother in need, it it doesn't take a lot of money from one person. If every single person loves an idea, a piece of music, a movement, if everyone chipped in, it's fucking phenomenal what can be made. It's just, yeah, every little bit adds up.
yeah.
Nothing to be snubbing your nose at. It's crazy what you can achieve in here and what I've seen happen. I don't know if you would know, this might be a little bit before your time, but there's a user called CryptoPie, and he's very sick and he needed an operation. It was essentially life threatening. He'd been here for a while. He did a post, and Osbit saw it, and it was failing. It hadn't really got any attention. He saw it, saw the need, gave it a huge vote, re-steamed it, and basically everyone chipped in. He ended up getting, I think it was over 10 grand, and it all went on this life-saving operation for him, and he's continuing to post about his recovery in hospital and all sorts of stuff.
10 grand.
Look at
Yeah.
the life changing power of this platform. That's crazy.
Life-saving power.
Li- That's life saving.
Yeah, it really is. And I mean, then you hear about all of the Venezuelan entrants, specifically with the financial crisis there.
Oh yeah.
A win in open mic is
Oh my god. Fucking...
Oh, I'm so-
life changing.
You saying that to me right now?
Changing.
Let me point out to people that don't know the winner last week, Luis Fairchav. Can you do me a favor and find the post I'm talking about, because I know you saw it. Jose Cabrera.
Jose.
Yeah, I know Luis Fair's on the chat room right now. Jose Cabrera is one of those amazing musicians that came out of Venezuela, and he's posting a bunch of stuff. So we're not gonna play the song because today we're talking with Basil, but I am gonna leave that on here. I'm gonna do a little bit of promo for Jose Cabrera because he's amazing, and
Luis, incredible,
he's
inspiring.
yeah,
musician.
and that kid is amazing, and he just won last week. And to put this in perspective, talking about how music, we say that like in a poetic way, like music saved my life. I say that all the time because it really did. Yeah, for this kid though, it did 100%. He told me in a private message that they had no money for food. They were gonna lose the house, and then he won one of the first open mic that he participated in. He won the first prize. It was either first or second one.
I think it might have been the very first one.
Yeah.
I remember hearing his first entry and just sat there, jaw agape, going, "Holy crap! This has to be first."
It's amazing. It's amazing. And Steemit gave him the ability to not only save his home, but feed his family for months. That's amazing. That's mind-boggling.
And I believe it's also made it to the point where he can now record. That's why he's got these guys on and he's doing a more professional take of this song. He's reinvesting what he's earned back into his music as well now after he's taken care of the necessities like food.
Exactly. But look at that.
Insane.
That's insane. And speaking about you, Basil, I honestly think that this in many ways is a very similar experience for you, not in a sense that you were in Venezuela, of course, but because the impact that it has had in your life, just like it has in me, is just as life changing.
Well, for me, it's a hugely different experience because I don't need my life saving. I don't need my house saving. I don't need my food buying. I live in a very privileged society, so but again, for me, creatively, it's been totally rejuvenating. I mean, my eye was off the ball big time, basically. I was concentrating on other things, and it's brought the child back out of me. And for me, it's a sort of life saving. It's like a spirit saving. It's like.
But that's what I meant. That's exactly what I meant. Because let's talk about the fact that we are not one dimensional. I was just talking about how I think money is not number one. It's not. You can be rich and be miserable, and we know that for a fact. But I said this before in the last show too. Like, I was really depressed before I found Steemit. It had been months, if not years, that I had not picked up my guitar to play for more than 5 minutes because I was so disappointed with how the music industry has what it has done to musicians and how it drained me. And then all of a sudden, because I had the band for 7 years. We performed, we gigged, we recorded, we did all this stuff. We went up and down. All the places where I could afford, and I got burnt out. We recorded 3 albums, and I got burnt out. And at the end of the day, all I had was a sore back and a bank account, that did not reflect the amount of work I was putting into it. And then all of a sudden, I find Steam, and all of a sudden, I start doing all this stuff. And aside from the money, which is awesome to have, the recognition, the fact that there was this community here that would listen to the song and reward me with the biggest reward, which is to attentively listen and care what the hell I was singing about, what the hell I was saying, because that's really what an artist wants.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, do you go out there and play for, like, okay, you know what, my chords are worth at least $50 each. So since I'm using 3, that's not how you measure music. That's not, what is that? I know that's a stupid thing. That's not what I wanted. Never have. What I wanted is to be able to share a piece of myself with the world, to leave a footprint of me in the world, and to have an audience that and I'm sorry for my French, that gave a fuck. And that's what the community is. And I don't know, you can't put a dollar amount on that. You can't.
No, it's been incredible, and well, yeah, that says it all for me. Actually, like, the community has been unbelievable in the way that you actually receive back, and I mean, I've never played live, so I don't really know, but I can imagine that you get a lot of praise from people live. I mean, actually, you tell me, Mino, but people can't say that much to you on the night. But with the way Steemit works, it's like people really get a chance to share their love and to converse properly, and in a very different way to, say, on YouTube, where you just get like tons of abuse, or on Facebook, where somehow the algorithms mean that no one even sees it or something. I don't know, it's bizarre, but Steemit really works.
It might be that might be just a coincidence. I have no idea. I don't know what it might be. It could be the fact that here there's consequences to you not being the best person that you can be, that people decide to bring out the best in them, and they have that mindset. I have no idea what it is.
But I think that sort of changes your mind over time as well, though. It's like, you come in maybe cynical, and then you're like, oh my god, I'm incentivized to be nice to people. What is this?
Yeah.
And then, like, after a few times, you're like, oh, hang on, I'm starting to feel like a nicer person. Wait. I actually want to be nice. What's happening to me? And then...
You know what? I think that, and Uni is on the audience right now. By the way, Basil, she has a show. I hope you can listen to it one day because it's awesome, and I know you're empathic, so you will love it too. It's one of my favorite shows on MSP. I'll let her do a little plug about the show because it's happening. Well, is it past noon? Past midnight? No. So it's not. It's happening this Friday, right. and it's a show called Emotional Integration. It's an awesome show, and so, but she will correct me if what I'm about to say is really wrong. But I think this is what it is. I think that in life we walk around with an emotional shield, and this emotional shield is something that we build up over the years to protect ourselves from pain, so that the person that I present to other people is not me, is the safest person I can be. So that if anybody out there is a bad actor, meaning anybody out there can hurt me, I did not present myself. I presented my shield. And in many ways, a creative person on this platform, right? In many ways, a creative person has to remove that shield, because with the shield, you will go nowhere. You go, you know what? I'm going to share something very emotional, something very painful to me that I would not normally not share, because that's part of my, my shield does not allow me to do it. I'm going to go ahead and do it. And then the fact that people react to that and then they connect. And it's amazing. I don't know, to me it was healing. The first song I shared on this platform was one of the most painful parts of my life that I made into a song. And the first
Wow.
person that commented on there was Passion Ground. And if he's listening to this, my
He always gets in there first.
yeah, Passion Ground, he left me a beautiful comment, and and I was like, wow, it was a song about when my relationship, I had a long-term relationship, it came crushing down, it was destroyed, and I was feeling like my life was shit. It was like that level of emotion, and I just put it out there. I said, you know what, fuck it, and I put it out there. And then this guy left me this beautiful comment, and I'm like, what just happened? This guy connected to it. This guy, and then all of a sudden, all these people start jumping in, listening to the song, giving me all this, all this encouragement. It's like, man, this is awesome. Share some more, man. This is beautiful. I love it. I felt it. Oh my God, don't give up. I think somebody even wrote like, oh, she was a bitch or something like that. I'm like, what? They're listening to the lyrics. This is crazy. Because I was the guy playing at a bar, right? Singing my heart out with a dude 2 feet away from me, giving me his back, drinking a beer, talking to a chick, and I'm singing my heart out. Because that's
Oh
how it is
god.
over here. And I'm like, oh man, I'm not used to this. This is awesome. And that's when I
Yeah.
knew I had found the right place.
Yeah.
D-Flow is saying the same thing with her poetry. And
That's
to the
exactly why I'm too afraid to go out and play live. Because I don't know, it's just like you need people to listen to you, otherwise it's the art's not being shared. It's the same with theatre. You wouldn't do theatre to a bunch of people who weren't watching.
Yeah, fully. I agree with that.
exactly. And with this whole emotional exploration that we've done, I'm gonna play one of your other songs, and this is actually, I think it's the last one, right? No, there's one before the last one for the competition, and it was a very emotional tune, and I thought it was beautiful. And you made some comments about it, saying like, oh, I don't know the lyrics and so that, and I thought the music itself said so much, and I loved it.
It
So
it was a compositional masterpiece, mate. You
the,
really absolutely stunned me.
Oh my god.
And I loved it so much.
it's the
Thank you.
right place, the right time. This is the one. Was it this one, the one right before the last one, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, something.
All right, so we're gonna play this song, and then we'll come back. We'll talk about your inspiration for this. This is a beautiful tune. This is Basel Marples.
Right place and all the right time. Either way would do me fine. Right place and all the right time. Somebody please show me a sign. Right place and all the right time. Either way would do me fine. I've seen so many nightmares. Another one might send me blind. up at the night sky, waiting for my stars to align. The right place at the right time, wouldn't that just be divine? My life for just one moment, too perfect to be mine. The right place at the right time, wouldn't that just be divine? My life just for one moment, too perfect to be mine.
To quote Crystal, as bloody brilliant, right? I I don't know. I don't know what to say about the song. Honestly, it was one of those things to where there was a lot that the lyrics said, a lot that the lyrics said, but there was so much that the melody said, and
Fucking oath, man.
right? It's kind of like yeah. The lyrics say a lot, and they touch me, but that thing is haunting though, right?
Haunting is the exact word I would use. It has this dark feel to it, and I love darker music. I really go for the heavy emo stuff. If you can't tell.
No.
Um,
I'm with you, 100%.
I don't know. There were moments there, like when I first heard it, and he starts with the solo piano. There's this moment where I'm like, there's another piece of music that it sort of hit a note on, and I'm just like, oh wow, where's our note going somewhere else? That's amazing, holy shit! And you just sort of took this element which I associated with another song, and you just freaking reworked it into awesomeness. I loved it.
Wow, cool.
I think it was the song from Requiem for a Dream. I don't know the name of
Oh
it.
my god, that dude. Wow. Yes, I know the one you mean.
You know the bit? Like the
It's a bit like that, isn't it?
just that bit. I'm like, oh, and it's like
Yeah.
something even better. Holy shit!
Exactly. Yeah, you captured that emotion, like whatever that is. Talking about music is awkward because it's hard to talk about music. I say that us musicians, we're ridiculous. We start talking about sounds. Oh, it's kind of brownish, but it has a little bit of. What are you talking about? We say these. So it's really hard to talk about music, but that's in my best ability to describe it. That's what I would say.
What, brownish?
Brown. You know what blew me away about the song, though, Basil, I have to say.
Brownish, you know what I mean?
Exactly. You know
Well,
what?
to be honest, it's a really weird experience writing that song because I think I started with a whole different set of lyrics and then Radio Poo. Nice. I basically I then was just like, oh no, I can't be going down this dark route. I need to inject some comedy. And then I was just like, okay, yeah, I'm going to take the theme exactly as it's written, right place and / or right time. And so I was like, yeah, cool. I'm going to write a funny song. This is going to be great. And then it just really didn't happen. It went somewhere else, and then I was completely stuck for lyrics, and so the piano happened instead. And wow, yeah, it was quite an uncomfortable experience for me, but really, really lovely to share and to receive such great feedback.
But
well,
that's
I love
funny.
the end result. Like,
Yeah.
sorry, just with that whole coming in with humor in mind. When I first started listening to it, I'm like, oh yeah, it's Basil's doing a funny one again. And then it did that turn. It's like you actually captured the evolution from the humorous to this serious melancholy really brilliantly, and I love it all the more for it.
Yeah, like I up until that particular song, Basil, I had no idea you had it in you, and I don't mean that like an insult. It's like I until you started writing songs that were like deeply emotional, I didn't know that side of you at all. Like, because I had never seen it, at least not in any other post, and so I think that's why it touched me so much because I was like, man, yeah, like now I feel like we, like we had one of those drunken sessions and we got drunk and we talked about shit and we cried.
Yeah.
The one that really, I have to say, knocked me on my ass from you would be like to see you transfer from the humorous side darker was the first one you did about your father, and we don't have to go on about it because I don't want to upset you, but like, man, I went through a lot of tissues that week. It was absolutely brilliant, and yeah, that was when I really understood the depth of what you could reach, and there's really nothing you can't write, mate.
Yeah, it is that simple. And I'll tell you what, another thing, Basil. It's like you say you don't call yourself a musician, or you said that earlier. Not that you don't write songs. Let me ask you the hard question. What is a musician?
A musician is someone who...
This is a tough one. Jesus.
I'm just going to play it really simple and say plays an instrument.
No, I would disagree.
Am I wrong about that? Damn
I would
it.
disagree because then what about singers? I have a simpler definition for a musician.
Okay.
To me, a musician is somebody who is able to communicate with music. That's what it means to me. Because it could be that you play guitar, it could be that you play piano, it could be that you sing. It doesn't matter. A musician is somebody who understands how to communicate with music.
Yeah.
And so in that sense, and you are, and maybe you always have been. You see what I mean? Music is language, and you speak it, and maybe you always have.
I think it's exactly maybe this is just something. It's just another bugbear. It's another thing that's been nailed to my back. Like I guess most people get stuff nailed to their back, and it's the same as the whole career and the success thing and the mastering your art and things. And basically, I really struggled being educated in the piano, and I didn't want to take I was really young. I was like 7 or something, and I was too scared to take my grade 1 piano, which would have been just so simple, but I refused to do it, and then I quit piano lessons. And very young, you get very strong impressions in your mind that kind of resonate through your body and just grow as you get older. I mean, I'm sure everyone can relate to that with something, and that's one of those things. Was like, when you just think you've failed, or you've decided to turn in another direction. Even though our family home had a piano, and I always messed about on it and stuff. But like you just go through thinking, oh well, I'll never be a pianist now because I turned my back on that, and
Yeah.
it's a shame. It's a shame that education doesn't do more to protect children from that kind of painful. It's like a knife in the back, just to be allowed to think that, it's
Absolutely.
Yeah, you nailed it. That's exactly what it is. I have a really cool story to share. Actually, and I'm not even the best person to share the story, but just because Pechi's not on air with me, I will. But there was this gentleman that he became pretty much my brother's mentor, right? So I know this story secondhand because it's a story that Pechi told me. He, I think he was living already in Ecuador at this point in time. He went to live to a place called Vilcabamba. He was a musician from Germany that was he had a terminal cancer in his brain, and he was told that that's it. You got this amount of time to live, and then you got to clock out. So the guy, instead of deciding to die in a hospital bed in in Germany, he moved to Pechi. By the way, if you want to tell the story, I'm more than happy to bring you in, but I have no idea if you have good internet good enough to participate of this conversation. But if you do, maybe I can have Ron check your microphone and you can come talk. But in any case, he moved to Ecuador to a place called Vilcabamba, which is a place that considers to be by many like a magical town where people live a really long time. You find people like in their 90s riding bicycles, right? And I'm not even kidding. So he moved there, and he was already living there for a few years when he met my family. He met my mom and he met my stepdad, and they became really good friends. And when my mom built the house and the farm and the beach where she lives now, he also moved there because he became part of the family. Now, in many ways, this guy was a world of knowledge when it comes down to music because he had lived it all. Like, he had been a professional musician his whole life. He even had a signature drum set from, I don't remember the brand, but Tama or one of those signature drumsticks and all stuff. I mean, the guy was like a professional, world-renowned drummer, dude in magazines and everything. Sonar, that's the name. And his whole life, he was playing for other people. He never played for himself.
Mm-hmm.
One of the lessons he gave my brother that I like, even though my brother, it was told to me by my brother, not him to me, that made my like the necks in my neck, that the hairs in my neck stand up, was he told Pechi, he's like, always follow your dream. Don't live the musical dream of others. Meaning like, if you feel like you want to sing about Pikachu and the Pokemons and that's your calling, do it. Don't do anything for anybody else. Because he was the guy that lived the dream of everybody else. He also told Pechi that in the world is full of creative police. And every time you go out there, and every time you put yourself out there and you say, okay, this is my art, whether it is music, which is what we're talking about, whether it is, poetry or visual art. I know D-Flow does poetry herself, and it doesn't matter. Every time you put yourself out there, there's always this creative police, willing and ready to say, yeah, it's good, but, and we have to learn as creative people. We really have to learn to say fuck it, because at the end of the marathon, when it's over, when we've jogged our whole lives trying to leave those footprints like I was talking about earlier, nobody comes at the end and says, you know what? I know you never finished what you wanted to do. I know you never finished the book you wanted to write. I know you never finished doing the movie you wanted to film. But here's an award because you helped everybody else achieve what they wanted. Here's the award. Does that happen? Like, no, of course not. Nobody gives you that price. And when you come to that reality is when also you empower yourself. Okay, so here's what it is. The truth is that what I want to achieve is completely up to me. It's completely up to me. That I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna chase after it. If I want to do art, I want to do visual art. I'm gonna freaking do it. If I want to do poetry, I want to do it. And if I want to do poetry about, doesn't matter. If it is my calling, it is my calling, because nobody gives you a prize at the end for obeying the creative police. Nobody says, you know what, you did a great job. You followed the rules. You stayed within the stripes. Nobody does that.
Hmm.
And that's why I love this community, because I don't feel like we have those limitations. You can do really whatever the hell you want. And I'll tell you what is also pretty unique and awesome about this community is that people follow people because of who they are, not just the content, not just what they make. Like, yes, of course, I will go and I follow, for example, I follow my brother Pechi because he's my brother, and I follow the music that he all the demos and all the stuff, and I enjoy it. But I also follow him because I love him. I follow you, Basil. I listen to the stuff that you do and the videos that you do because I enjoy them. But I also follow you because I care about you. See what I mean?
Yeah, it's a unique place for sure.
Exactly. So if the day of tomorrow, Basil, you wanted to, oh, you know what? I'm gonna stop acting, and I'm just gonna draw my little chickens. I would still follow you. See what I mean? Because it's still you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so my point, and when I say this to people, and again, and I come back to this, is that even though we might feel like, oh, I'm too little, my account is tiny, I need to make money and all this stuff, and we have all those concerns, and I get them 100%. Don't worry about that shit. Worry about creating the relationships and finding the people that are going to be there with you, and that you can help them grow. And in return, because that's how life is, you put love out there and it comes right back to you, you're going to grow too. And before you know it, because it happened to me. Okay, there's a few guys that just got here, like maybe and don't know, but I haven't been on this platform for that long. What did I jump in October? November?
Yes, I think it might have been even just before October, like September, the very end.
Yeah, and I started with a tiny account and with like 5SP and all this stuff, and I didn't know anybody, and I've made some amazing friends. And I was just telling today a friend of mine who I just brought over. I'm saying, what blew my mind? Last month, the bills of my house were paid with Steam. That blew my mind.
I get you, man. I loved hearing that. For me, the big moment was buying a new car, all with Steam. That was pretty fun.
Wow.
Not a brand new one. I'm not stupid. I don't buy new because they devalue too quickly.
But
I bought a really nice motherfucking car, which I am loving and hasn't broken down. Like, before this, I was in a shitbox car that broke down every second week. It cost us a fortune. And yeah. And also on the doing what you love, I have done so many random fucking posts, people. Like, all out there, all over the place. So, I mean, somehow I've managed to get a following, even though I've jumped from writing to reviewing music to autism awareness stuff. Like, it's all over the place. You can do what you want just as long as you love what you're doing. It isn't work, and you can keep going, and people resonate when you're being honest.
Exactly.
And that's what life is, isn't it? Life is madness. Life is chaos. Like, you can wake up from one day to the next feeling completely different, and what you want to share and what you want to use your energy for might shift massively. I mean, I know there are some people who are just very dedicated and very focused on goals, but man, like, it's not for all of us. And I that's what I think Steemit has provided an incredible place for waifs and strays like me who want to follow our whims, to find a place where that's appreciated. Wow, that's so important to me right now.
Well, think about how YouTube treats their content creators, besides ripping them off hardcore. Like, the amount of views you have to get to make a cent compared to here, like, the view counts are way different for the payout reward ratio, firstly. But on top of that, when you hit a certain level, they give you, like, someone to chaperone you through things and to sort of basically keep you pigeonholed in that one area where you gained your success. Like, this is your niche, this is where you should focus, put all of your energy and investment into this one area and hope it pays off. And when you fall below the subscriber count, I assume they don't have any support network for you when they stop helping. It's just here you don't get specialized help. You build the community around you, and what you plant, you reap the rewards from.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. It's exactly it. It's like I told this to HZ a long time ago, and I think he disagrees with me, but maybe one day I'll turn him into the dark side. I was telling him, and I'll tell you, Basil, that I think that the trick into being successful in not just in Steam, in life, is probably embracing a different concept of selfishness. And what it is this: my life, my well-being is not limited to my physical self, because my experience of life is not just what I see, it's not just what I hear, as every single person that participates of my life. And if I understand that my life is everybody, if I understand that my life is also you, that my life is also Crystal, that my life is all these little friends and little minnows that participate of my activities on this platform, my life is also Uni, then I would also understand that their well-being is my own. So when I do something nice for them, when I drain my voting power to shit because they did something awesome, when I send somebody a couple SBDs because I feel like helping them out, I'm doing that for me. Because today, when I go to sleep, I feel that I took part of taking care of myself. But not just the one that is limited by my skin, my whole self. So by me being nice, I'm being selfish.
I agree. Yeah, I think that's perfectly reasonable. Yeah, by giving out love, you have love reciprocated. Well, hopefully, and
Yeah.
it's not always the case.
But it's not conditional too, because like that and that's the thing. That's the trap that you like. If you do a beautiful gesture for somebody, like we're having a conversation with my brother yesterday. Yesterday was my niece's birthday, and me and my older brother were talking because this homeless man comes up to us and he asking for money. So give him $1, and my brother tells me, "What if he buys drugs?" And it's like, well, you know what? I rather give him food. That is true. But giving him $1, it's not. It's like if you give somebody $1 or whatever, it's not because you are thinking, okay, what is the utility of $1? Okay, dude, give me the receipt. Let me see what you buy. If you do that, right? What you're really doing it, you're doing it for a different reason. You're doing it because altruism, which is what I'm talking about, is really about you. It's really about you realizing that when you have a positive impact on the life of somebody else, when you act to impact somebody in a positive way, you are loving yourself. I know it sounds weird in the story, but it's not. And if somebody has never participated in something altruistic, they might not relate to this feeling. I happen to have one of those crazy mothers that she's way too ninja. Like I could never be to that level, but I saw it with my own eyes. My mom, she taught me this lesson because this lesson was taught to her by my grandpa. She used to go to hospitals for babies that were terminally ill, that they were, with cancer, that there was no cure, right? And she would take care of the babies and bathe them and help them pass away.
Wow.
And that just melts my heart every time I hear it, man.
That was
I want to meet your mom.
I went once, and I could not go again. I was like, I'm not that strong. And I think to myself, it's like, why would my mom do that? Why would she put herself in such a painful situation?
Someone has to be there. That's why.
I bet you went once too. Oh, and I tell you why she did that, because she understood, and this is what she taught us. What I was telling you, that her life, her experience is not just her. And this whole idea, it's like, oh, we can't change the world. We really can't do it and all this stuff. It's because we think of the world in a macro sense. We're like, oh, We go like, well, you know what? Since I can't really make the president be a good president, then I'm just gonna do nothing. He's like, what does a president really have to do with you specifically today? What does that have to do with you writing a song right now? What does that have to do with you taking care of your quails? In my case, nothing.
Exactly.
Our world is so tiny, and if we just take care of the people that we can, if we take care of the things that are right there, like we can change the world because effectively we will, because we live in a tiny part of the world. I think that's a philosophy worth living by. I really do.
100% agree, man. That's
Definitely
poetically.
fully behind it. Fully behind that.
And with all this crazy mushy talk, because I've gotten all emotional again, and I knew it was going to happen, Basil, because even though you are a funny character and you do amazing comedy, and I enjoy it so much, I've always found the funny people are only funny because they understand the other side of the coin too. So I was like, yeah, you know what, we're gonna laugh, yeah, for sure, but we're definitely gonna go into some deep subjects.
It's all going to end in tears.
Did you not see it happening? I saw it happening.
I did. Well, if it's anything like what this whole, I mean, the Songwriters Challenge is my my vision of my experience on Steemit. It ties it all into a nutshell for me, and that had everything. I mean, it had everything, and so I'd expect nothing less than everything from this show.
There you go. There you go. So you prepared mentally. That's amazing. And I hope Basil. By the way, thank you so much, bro, for staying up for the show. Because I know over there is like, it's already like Friday.
Yeah, no biggie.
You're a time traveler.
Me.
Yeah, you're a time traveler. Not as much as Crystal, but what is it over there? Like 4 a.m. right now? Close to, right?
Yeah, it's 3:45. Yeah.
Awesome, bro. No sleep for you today. No sleep.
And I'm almost 2 p.m. the next day.
Yeah. Crystal's a whole nother story. But actually works a little bit better for her than for people that live in UTC. But
Yeah, I'm lucky.
so the last song that I'm going to play from Basel, and we'll come back, chat a little more, and then we're going to call it a night. We're going to call it the end to the second edition of the Songwriter Shop Talk, is a song called Lost and Waiting. And this song, even though it has a bit of comedy, it's not. There's a lot of symbolisms here, and I absolutely love the lyrics, and it's really catchy too, I have to say. So I'm gonna go ahead and play it, and then we'll talk about it, and then you tell me what you were thinking when you wrote it, what the inspiration was.
Okay, cool.
I am lost, lost, floating aimlessly around. I'm lost and waiting to be found. When I put my foot where the floor should be, there's nothing ever there but the deep blue sea. My toes keep dreaming of the ground. I'm lost and waiting to be found. I am lost, lost, floating aimlessly around. I'm lost and waiting to be found.
That song is special, kind of beautiful. I have to say. There's well, obviously it's my interpretation, but I feel like I can relate to it uh, quite a bit. It's one of those songs that the lyrics really spoke to me. I don't know what you were thinking, Basil, when you wrote this, and I would love to hear what was going through your head when you wrote this, because it has this feel of the Beatles, but aside from the style, I I think the lyrics are brilliant. So you gotta tell me.
Thank you. Well, I was honestly out of the whole songwriters challenge, this one was by far the easiest one to write. It just the theme just sung it to me, basically. I mean, I feel like that person, who I always feel lost. It's like I get so confused about everything most of the time that and like we've been talking about all the way through this show, it's about how you're kind of expected to make this great show of life, and yet actually the reality is that you're wandering around in the fog looking for sweets, and every now and then you find a sweet and it's like woo, and you eat the sweet and it feels great, and then there's no sweet. So you've got to wander through the fucking fog again, and it's like that over and over again. And so this song was just that, really. It's just about, and for some reason it turned into the ocean, and I don't remember why, but it was very easy to write, and that's all I'll say about that, really. Easy to write, easy to play, and
That was a damn relief given the rest of the competition.
It's an amazing song, man. This is a song that you could not that I'm telling you should, but you could like sell it, honestly. Like I can hear the song being sang by so many artists out there right now, and you make royalty money. You don't want to sell it. Don't sell it. If you don't feel like it, don't. Every time I heard somebody say that to me, oh, this song, you should get it out there, and I'm like, I'm very jealous of my music, meaning like it's my babies,
Yeah.
Especially because most of those contracts you have to give them up,
But I mean, this was another huge moment in and it's post the challenge. But some of you might have seen Taro by Fergus. He is an amazing songwriter in himself and a really funny guy. And
man, Taro is awesome. I'm gonna have him on the show for sure.
Yes, you have to, and I know what you're talking about, and yes, this is brilliant too.
Yeah, he just came out and he asked me if he could cover that song for me that I wrote, and that was just, like such a special experience, and just another in a huge long line of really incredibly special experiences that I've had since joining the open mic, and most specifically the Songwriters Challenge. But Taro by Fergus, he just asked me for it, and it felt so special to be asked. And then I told him the chords because I was really excited, and then man, it was just one of the best experiences ever to see his video, and it's like, wow, that's my song. He sung it so beautifully. I mean, I think he did such an amazing job of it and took his whole own take on it. And as a musician, as a songwriter, that I think it's essential, actually. Now, having experienced it, wow, as a songwriter, if you're a songwriter and you haven't had someone cover your song, you don't even have to wait for them to ask. Just ask someone to play your song back to you. It's like a whole other level of amazing feeling, and it really helps you to see what's important about what you've done, because it's so easy to feel like when you create something that it's like a newspaper that you've just thrown away or something. I don't know what it feels like. It's you're there when you're creating it, and that feels like magic, and then it's kind of it's spat out into the world and it's gone. But wow, when someone echoes that back at you in their own voice, then it's like, then the puzzle's complete. Suddenly you see the value of what you've done, and wow, I don't know. I think there's a lot of that happening on Steemit. I mean, with the art as well, people kind of collaborating on artworks, and I guess maybe sharing it with writing as well. There's quite a lot of that going on. So yeah, it's like tons of amazing, awesome stuff going on. And I'm rambling, but I love it.
No, but you said everything I think. So, Crystal, I'm sorry, you were gonna add to what he said. You're gonna tag on to that. Go for it. I'm sorry.
I can't quite remember what I was going to say, but what has popped into my mind with what you were saying about writing and art, God, it would probably be over a year ago now. A tattooist that is on here, Kid Darko, had a competition to create a character. He would draw it. And so I described a character from my novel, and he drew it. And I have a hand-drawn piece of art which he live streamed the filming of him drawing it.
Wow.
And it's
How cool is that?
it's an absolute treasure of mine. I still have it wound up so it doesn't get damaged.
Wow, that's awesome. You have to show me this.
I will for sure. I've probably got a post about it somewhere too. But the collaboration is amazing. And hearing you and Taro cover each other's work, because you also covered one of his songs, which was
Whoa,
and
the,
really
the Gorgon. That was
Gorgon.
great. It was great.
That was fun. Oh, it was so fun to do that.
Oh, I freaking loved it. That was great. And that's what it's all about. You know, we're kind of running out of time, guys. We got like 2 minutes left. So I just want to Basil to kind of give your closing thoughts. What do you want to do this year with your Steemian career? And also tell people your wishes for everybody, for the guys that are just starting, for the minnows that just got here, that they're still trying to figure out how to not run out of bandwidth. What?
Yeah. Well, that's a lot, but I guess I wish for everybody who's listening, who's new, just to find your people on Steemit, because they are all your people, but there are little pockets of the community that you can find. Like for me, it was open mic, and I wasn't expecting that on Steemit. I was not expecting my Steemit life to be about music, but it really has taken a massive swing in that direction. But allow yourself to be surprised.
I like that.
Find the people who are really reciprocating, and relate to them. Enjoy relating to them. Enjoy being related to, because that's where the true value of Steemit has been for me. And it's building, and it's turning into something where I'm being rewarded with so much more than just the Steam dollars. And in terms of my aspirations, I've just got to get this stupid vlogumentary out, which is, going to just, because film editing is such a bore. I don't know if anyone's done it, but it's a nightmare. And yes, I was doing that a little bit. So slowly this Steamfest documentary will come out. But really, I don't know, just more of the same, more music, more art. I want to get involved in more art exhibitions. Competitions. And Petchy, yeah, his zombie tree costume. We've got to sort this collaboration out. There's various strange little collaborations and ideas that have been bandied about that it never feels like I have enough time for. But there's just there's so many alleyways, so many strands, so many areas that you could move into on Steemit. So that's my full advice: is open your heart to Steemit and see what happens.
Well, Crystal, I have to say that it was amazing having you here. I hope that we do this again next week, if you're up for it.
Hey man, if you're sure you want me, I'm loving this.
Yeah, honestly, I have the plan of making this show the show of the no plan. So,
my kind of show.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, what I really want is to not program anything. Whatever people feel, whatever people feel connected to, that's what I wanted to flow, and not come up with some sort of rigid system to where, okay, we're gonna do 10 minutes talk, and then you're gonna tell me how you found Steemit, and then after that we're gonna do the song, and then once the song's done, then you tell me why you wrote the song. No, screw that. I don't know what that is. I don't want to do it, and and so I don't intend to. I'm gonna keep it as natural as I possibly can, because I think that's when you actually get to know the person.
Well, it's working great. I'm loving it. This is the second show I've caught. I think it's the second show ever, yeah?
Yeah, this is the second one.
Yes!
I
I
have
didn't miss one.
my plan is not to stop. I'm gonna continue doing this until they kick me out. I have so many songwriters I want to bring onto the platform, including my brother, which is gonna be kind of weird and a little bit funny, I think, to interview my brother because he's not really gonna tell me stuff I don't know, and if he does, it's gonna be super weird, right? If he all of a sudden tells me, yeah, this one time I killed a lion, and I'm like, what do you mean? Wait. I don't know what he could tell me that would surprise me, but you never know. But I want to bring him on here, and it'll be amazing to have you again to help me co-host it. I also invited Luz, but he's a busy man, so I'm not
Yeah.
trying to call him out here because he couldn't make it. And I intend very soon to have Melavie. And for those that don't know, Melavie is in the audience right now. She is one of my favorite songwriters of the challenge. She had to take a little break. I know Basil's going to share pretty much echo my sentiment towards her music because
Definitely.
she tugs at the heart like really bad. Like the one
Yeah.
yeah.
Because we can that week. Oh my god.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
me and her just had a conversation about how much I love that song.
Oh, that song was so good. And that's my treasures really. This is gonna sound like I'm being fatalistic, but I'm not. I'm saying happiness is not like a state you get to, right? It's not like, oh, finally I'm here. This is happy. It's a constant emotion that, or not a constant, a pursuit of an emotion. These little tiny things that add up, right? So as the songwriters challenge was going on, and I would find these musical treasures, I was constantly being reminded of how lucky I am and how grateful I need to be for what I'm experiencing and the life that I have, regardless of all the problems, because we all have them, regardless of being late on a bill, regardless of having concerns about a credit card, whatever it is, doesn't matter. Like fuck all that noise. I'm sorry for my French again. But to be able to
Sorry for my constant swearing.
yeah, but to be able to at that moment be there, be present, and feel the gratitude of experiencing the challenge. And I've said this before, and I'm repeating myself like a broken record, but I would wake up excited, with a smile on my face, first thing in the morning, thinking, especially on Tuesdays, by the way, thinking, ah, more entries, and of course a little concerned because judging the challenge is difficult. I had so many songs I loved, and it was such a struggle. I know for you, Crystal, as well, because we would talk about it, and I would
It
have
was torture in ways.
yeah, and race. I would have like a list of 12, and I'm going like, oh, I can't pick five. I can't pick five. How do I pick five? And I would cheat. And this is now that it's over, I can say it. I would cheat, and I would wait for one of you guys to post first, right? Not that that would work all the time, but I'll be like, okay, so okay, Passion just posted. All right, cool. So he doesn't have on there? He doesn't have this person. Okay, perfect. This person deserves it.
You're totally stealing my method for main open mic there,
Oh
buddy.
man, that I had to do it. I was cheating because what it is like, if I could, I just couldn't. I would give everybody the first place. Like it was so much good stuff. So
Yeah,
I
honestly,
just felt like I need
hardest
to spread the love.
decision.
Veggie's saying that I should get flagged. Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess I should get flagged. All right, people, I will take the flags like a champ. By the way, Anka, she's saying that she flagged me. That's not BS. She did flag me.
I love that even more.
Ouch.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
She's a true artist.
That is true. That is true. Anyways, we're gonna wrap it up. And again, I want to thank absolutely everybody that showed up to the second edition of the Songwriter Shop Talk. I love it. I'm having so much fun. I waited for this day. 1 hour after I was done with the first one, I couldn't wait for this week to come around. I couldn't wait to talk to Basil. I couldn't wait for us to laugh, for us to cry a little bit. I got all emotional a couple times, and for us to do this little exploration thing, because yeah, again, this is me mining true treasure, and I hope you guys see it like that too. This is me uh, acquiring wealth, which is the relationships and the friendships that I'm developing with you guys. So thank you for being part of my life, and I thank you, Crystal. Thank you also, Basil, for being part of my life, and hopefully, Basil, especially after today, you feel a little more inspired to show up on MSP a little bit more, and maybe also to helpy, and be part of the community, because truth of the matter is, Steam is awesome, and 100% awesome, and I love it. But when you complement Steam with Discord, it's almost like you got the ticket to the show and then the backstage pass, and I don't think anybody can
it's really
deny that,
special.
right?
Yeah, totally. It's been really special. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm blessed. It's an honor. And man, just all of these lovely comments that have been drifting up through the thing. It's been wow, another really special experience. So thank you everybody who's been listening. You're all amazing. I love you.
Thank you so much for having me as well. I'm stoked I got to speak to Basil. I'm such a fan of your work. I'm such a fan of Menno's work as well. It's like, you guys don't get it. Just because I'm a judge doesn't mean I can't fangirl out about y'all. So this has been such an awesome experience for me as well. So thank you.
Awesome, guys. Well, everybody, again, thank you so much for showing up. Thank you so much for listening. For those who stayed up so late, even more a special thanks to you for being brave. And hopefully we can do this again next week. Have a good night. Love you all.
Night, everyone.
Night.